Hey everyone, how's it going? So Tuesday, June 23rd is when the beta releases, and I kind of just want to give you a heads up of what you can expect. We're going to be getting a starter deck to start with. This deck is what you'll use to climb the ranks, to earn XP through quest, and through the onboarding track, you'll be able to get different rewards. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But this video is just to go over the starter deck, show you what cards it has available to you, and then we'll show some gameplay on how to play the deck, and then like a little play-by-play on what the cards do and how to play the deck. So let's get into it. So if you go to this rewards tab right here, you can be greeted with this onboarding track. This is going to be free to everybody on Tuesday. And then through this onboarding track, you're going to earn XP, which will give you different rewards here. So tier 1, you're going to get this aggro sprouts deck. It's a pre-constructed deck of 40 cards. Same with the tier 3 deck right here. You're going to get a controlled burn deck. I could do videos on these two as well if you like, just showing you what cards it has and how to play it. Tier 2, you're going to get some cord charges, and then Tier 4, you get some flux. These are just materials in the game that you can use to earn more cards with or buy more cards with. You got some profile pics, which is nice. It looks like this. Some emotes. And then on Tier 10, you get this little draft ticket. And what this does is, if you head over to the modes here, you have this mode called draft. What draft is, you pick between a pool of 34 cards. They're random cards. You construct a deck of 22, I believe, with it, and then you try to see how many wins you can get in a row with it. The more wins you get, the more prizes you earn. This will get you into the premium draft, so you'll be able to get more crystals to get more cards. And then when you lose 3 times, then the draft is over, and then you have to start over. But this gives you a ticket into the premium draft to try to earn those rewards, which is very nice. If you head over to the collection here, you're going to see I have access to all the cards right now. My account will get completely wiped along with the rest of the alpha players. So we're going to be starting fresh with you guys on Tuesday. Everyone will be on the same playing field, so we won't have access to all these cards like we do now, which is very good. But we will have access to the starter deck. Everybody will, and then we'll show you what that looks like. So the divers that we have right now are Shattersmith and Gunnery Captain. Shattersmith is a 3-cost unit. A really beefy guy is a 5/5, so applies pressure early on the board. It's very tough for your opponent to deal with early on. And if you can actually get this timeline down called the 1-2 timeline, he then immortalizes into a 6/6. And you have like cards in your deck like the Firm Hand that can help you shift the timeline. You have Holder of Instruments here, who's a 2/1 who shifts to the timeline. So a lot of the cards benefit from this timeline here. You have Seeker of Truth. She's a 2 mana cost, 2/6, but if the timeline is up, she actually immortalizes into a 3/3 that heals to 3/7 each round, or that can heal up to 3/7. So very nice synergy there with the 1 troop timeline. And I'll show you what that looks like more in depth as we get to the gameplay. For this deck, you have a bunch of removal too as well. You have Backhand here, which is really good. It destroys an agent with 2 or less strength or durability. Strength and durability, if you want to think of it as attack and defense, that's how I think of it. So you have cards like Sunshock, which deals 2 to an agent or core. You have some support cards too as well. So this will give your unit +3 defense and -3 attack from the enemy. This card right here is one of my favorite cards in the game. It's called Unlock Potential. It grants an ally +9 attack and +4 defense, which is very, very good. I use it in multiple decks right now. But the fact that you get it for free is actually really crazy. You get 2 of them, it looks like. And the rarity of the card is right here, if you look at the card right here. So it actually is a common card. If you look at Devour, this is a legendary card. And these cards are called lost cards in this game. But lost cards are very strong units, typically. This Devour Spawn is a very strong unit. He's a 10/10 that can gain keywords through the timeline. So every time you shift the timeline, he'll gain a keyword like Lifesteal, Overpower, Elusive. And then if you shift the timelines enough, he can gain 7 keywords, which he'll then flip to Time Devour Solval. And what Time Devour Solval does, if he was to be destroyed, he instead heals himself to full, and then he'll just lose like one of his keywords. But this card alone is one of your win cons. It becomes this really big, beefy unit with a bunch of keywords, super hard for your opponent to deal with, especially if you get them immortalized. So you try to work towards that is what the deck is trying to go for, just to kind of close it out. You have cards like Lifesteal Colossus that can help get you there too as well. So he's a 9/14, really beefy guy that can pull stuff to him. And when he's flipped, when he immortalizes into Gentle Frank here, he anytime you were to take damage, you would take one less from all sources. So say if your opponent was to strike your core for 2, you would only take 1. Or if your allies were to get hit with um, like a spell that does 2 damage, it would only take 1 damage because it reduces the damage by all sources by 1, which is very good. So this is the starter deck that we're going to be getting. I'm hopping into some gameplay now and show you a play-by-play of each card and what it does. We'll hop into that now and show you guys. Alrighty, hopping in here and let's see what we get. All right, so we're going to get rid of this card. This is like one of our ramp cards. We don't need that right now. This seems like it's a little bit expensive. I do like this, so we can be able to shift the timeline early on. We could play this on 1 and then have this for 3. It should be able to come down as a 6/6 and apply a bunch of pressure. This card is pretty good. It rewinds an agent, so it sends it back. It sends an agent back to its hand. We could use that on one of our units, or we could use it on one of the opponent's units. So we'll keep this one. Hit OK here. And then also, I just want to show you guys real quick. We have emotes in the game. So as you can see, our opponent played that emote. We have this little dinosaur here, which is really cool. We even have some text emotes as well, just as more funness to the game. We have like good game here. We have different ones here, which is very nice. So we're going to start off with this card right here. It's called Hold of Instruments. When we play it, you're going to see the timeline shift. And this is the timeline we kind of want to stay active to help synergize with our cards. Opponent doesn't play a card, so we're going to attack here. And the whole goal of the game is to get your opponent's Nexus to 0. First one to do that wins the game. And you do that by playing units and playing different spells to help get you there. All right, so we're going to end the round here. This round, depending on what our opponent plays, we could like either take him out with this or this card. Looks like he's actually killing our unit, which is unfortunate. So we'll go ahead and accept that. And then we will play this guy right here. This unit has a keyword called Confront. What Confront is, it pulls. You're able to pick which unit you want to block with. So like I could pull this guy to my unit right here and force him to block him. It would then change the timeline as well. If I was to survive the damage from blocking him, it would then switch the timeline to Star Siphon here. But right now we don't want to do that. We kind of want to keep this active. So now that it's turn 3, we could play our Diver here, which is Shattersmith. And he'll come down as a 6/6 because he's going to immortalize here. And now that we got him flipped, we could then pull something here with this guy and then attack with our other unit here. So we could pull this one and then attack here and see if he wants to trade. Okay, it looks like he just wants to take the damage. So we're going to do 6 to our opponent here, which is very nice. We also shift the timeline because this card survived damage. So now each round we're going to get, it refills all of our power reserves. And what power reserve is spell mana, if you're familiar with Runeterra. So next round we're going to have full spell mana and we're going to have 4 mana crystals to play with. Okay, opponent was able to immortalize his unit because with the dog, if it sees a unit in play at round end, that's a 1 cost. It then immortalizes, and then every time it doesn't see a unit, that's a 1 cost. It will draw 1 at the end of the round. Opponent attacks here, which is fine. We could block with our big guy here, or we could even shoot it if we want to. I think blocking is okay. Actually, yeah, I think blocking is fine. So we go ahead and accept this. We have this card right here called Paradox Flow. What this card does, it shifts the timeline to the 1 true timeline again, and then it fully heals all allies. So our units here can get healthy. Our opponent tries to take out our unit here. This card right here, he discards 1 to deal 4 to our agent, and since we're blocking with it, it actually destroys our unit. We don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this Sunshock here to kill his unit. That way we at least survive the damage. And then we can use this card to heal our units here. Ooh, so he doubles. Okay, that doesn't matter, actually. We still get this through. So opponent plays this card right here. What this card does is pretty strong if you're to use it on the right unit. It's called Overclock. You discard one to play. It doubles an ally's stats and grants it temporarily. So like you want to use it on like bigger units so you can get the most benefit out of it. But him using it on this doesn't help because even though it doubles its stats, it's still like what, a 4/2, and with the Sunshock, it just kills it. Unfortunately for him. So now we can use this card right here and then fully heal our units back to full. And it looks like this card's a little bit bugged on our screen, but it should go away next round, hopefully. We're still in alpha and beta, so hopefully some of this gets cleaned up later on. We're going to use this card actually called Backhand to destroy this unit right here, so that way we're able to have a pretty big swing next turn. So we'll use this right here on this unit to get rid of it. And it looks like opponent used most of his cards besides his divers. So we're definitely outvaluing him pretty good. He will heal one from this timeline though, but we'll be able to swing for what, 5, 8 damage right here. Okay, we got our big guy here, which is nice. We also have this as well for later, which is very good. And it looks like this card is just glitched on my screen right now, so hopefully that goes away. So we're going to attack, and then we should bring him down to 8. Okay, opponent doesn't play a unit, so what we can do, we could play this guy. He's a 5/6. He has delay, which is one of the keywords. Delay is this agent strikes after the opponent so after he takes damage, he then strikes. And when he survives the damage, he actually gains overpower here. So any excess damage will go to the enemy's core, which is very good. And it also gets the confront keyword too as well when he immortalizes. And confront, if you remember, we're able to pull a unit. We're able to pick which unit blocks him, which is very good. So I'll play him just to apply more pressure to the board, and then we'll end the round. And it's very unfortunate that this is stuck on our screen right now, but... Okay, so opponent plays Scuttling Spares. This card is better to play him when he's immortalized. You can immortalize him in hand, and he becomes down as a 6/1 with overpower. And you do that by discarding, so you discard him with different cards in the deck. And then when you discard him twice, that's how he immortalizes into this big spider here. And what's cool about the spider is every time you play this card, it creates another copy in hand. So you have like this infinite, well, not infinite. You have a 3 mana cost that you can use multiple times to like gain some like board presence and gain some threat, because it's a 6/1 with overpower, which is could be tough to deal with later in the game. But right now we're in a good spot. We could actually ship this back to his hand if we want with this card. So we'll rewind his card that he just played, forcing him to play it again. And then we'll bank the rest of this mana so we have access to this next turn to kind of close it out. Opponent actually uses Time Stop. So Time Stop is a spell in the game that clears the chain. It's kind of deny from Runeterra if you're familiar with that, but this will deny any spell that's played. And then yeah. So he denies it, and then he ends the round. We'll accept this, and we're gonna do a full swing here. We could pull with one of our guys right here, just like this, and then we have access to, I believe, unlock potential that we could use on one of our bigger units, or we could even use it on this unit too as well, and just make all of our units pretty big. And this should help close it out, I think. We should be able to get the win right here. Yes, okay. Very nice. So that's kind of how the deck is played out. You just try to get some big units out there, heal with the timeline to get your guys flipped, and get the benefit out of that. We'll play another game here just to show you, see if we can get a better game, just because that card was stuck on our screen, and I kind of want to get you guys like a good, clear picture on how to play the deck. But yeah, it's just taking advantage of that timeline and then trying to get big units on the board to threaten your opponent with. Right here, we're going to get rid of this card. This card's a little bit too early on. It's a 10 cost, so we won't be able to use it until later anyways. Same with this one. It's pretty expensive right now. I kind of want to get some low cost units going. This one, we'll even get rid of this one too as well. We'll do a full mulligan here. Very nice. So we did get this holder of instruments. This is kind of what you want to see in your mulligan. You kind of want to aim for this guy because you could play him on 1, and on 3 you could actually flip this guy. It's kind of the goal. Opponent plays Brain Dead Bouncer. What Brain Dead Bouncer does is when he at round end he'll decay, but when he sees the Voice of the Sky timeline, he actually flips. And then when he's immortalized, every time he decays all the enemies. So he only benefits if the Voice of the Sky timeline is up. But right now it's not active, so we're free to play this card. Opponent does attack. I will accept this this block here, just so that we're not taking 3 damage to our core. Okay, so we're gonna hit pass. We have this unit to play on 2 if we like. I am going to pass to see what our opponent does. So opponent plays Somber Astronomer. What Somber Astronomer does is it creates a Voice of Sky card called Return to Stillness that he has to use on one of our units. It depletes one of our units and makes his guy big from the timeline. So the timeline is if a player has exactly 1 agent, it has +3/+3. So this unit will become a 4/4. I'm going to pass to see if he doesn't play this, and then if we could go to the next round, we can actually play this. So it does look like he's shifting the timeline. Unfortunately, he's using it on his own unit, which is fine. So now we could play this guy since he did shift the timeline. This will make our unit big, and since it's depleted, it's not able to attack or block. So we just get this damage in for free. And our guy becomes bigger because of the timeline. So that's the reason why he's a 5/6 right now. Alrighty, let's see. So opponent plays Pressure Spike. What Pressure Spike does, it deals 1 to an agent, and it increases it by 1 for each ally it has. So right now it's only doing 1, but if I was to have like a full board right here, it would actually do 6 damage. So him using this right here is not the best move, I would say. We don't really have to do anything right here. We could play some units. This will come down as a 4/4 because of the timeline is not the one true timeline, which is unfortunate. But we'll play this and then see what our opponent does. So our opponent does attack. We could then block with it, and then this will make our unit bigger again since we're going back to 1 unit. So it'll become a 5/6 again. Oh no, actually, sorry, I forgot the timeline shifts when he dies. So since our Shattersmith died, when it dies, it shifts the timeline to the 1 true timeline. So we're not going to get the buff from the Voice of the Sky anymore, which is fine. So we have 4 mana. We're kind of just working towards this right now. We could open attack here, or we could play this guy. I think we will play our second 2/3 right here, so that way whatever he plays, we could pull it. Opponent plays Paradox Plague. What Paradox Plague does is an agent decays, so when it decays, it grants the agent -1/-1 once for each timeline in the timeline stack. So since we have 3 timelines in the stack, it's actually going to decay 3 times, which is pretty bad. So this will actually kill our units, I believe. And then since it sees paradox, so paradox is when two units on the board have the same name. Since they have the same name, instead enemies decay once for each timeline in the timeline set. So it's going to kill both of them, unfortunately, but that's going to be fine. So we'll just clear the board completely, pass. And then next round, let's see, we're going into round 6 or round 5. This is kind of unfortunate because we don't have anything to really play here. And opponent plays a 3-2 with Siphon and Temporary. Temporary is at round end. If you were to strike, or if you're at round end, it would destroy the card. But if this card sees Voice of Sky, it instead immortalizes into a 3-2 with Blitz and Siphon. So pretty good card if you could get this Voice's timeline down. And so he's going to actually end up healing more here, unfortunately, because we don't have... I mean, we could play this, which would mute him, I believe. I don't know if that's worth it, though. Actually, yeah, it might be worth it, so that way he doesn't heal. That's fine. We'll pass and see what he does. So he does attack. We'll hit skip block. We could play this. Well, this will give us an extra mana crystal. So next round we'll start with 7 mana, I believe, to be able to play this. So we'll do this. Gain an extra mana crystal. And then hit pass. And when we play our gunnery captain here, she's actually going to clear this out because since it's a 2 cost, when we play her, she enters and erases all enemies that are 2 or less in play, which is very good. Okay, looks like opponent destroyed his own card, just fine. We're going against the AI bot, so it's not the smartest bot, to be honest, but it's just to showcase what the deck is about, right? So we're gonna play her, even though we're not getting any benefit from this. Still 5/6 with quick attack, which is very good. And opponent plays, let's see. Okay, so he plays the decay card again, making our unit a 2/3, which is fine. We'll attack. And then hopefully next round we'll be able to play the big guy here, Lightsteel Colossus, and then once we hit 10 mana crystals, he'll then immortalize to Gentle Frank here. And we'll take less damage. So he's going to switch to the Voice of the Sky here. It's actually going to buff our guy, which is nice. And let's see, we have a bunch of timelines in the stack right now. So right now we have 4 timelines, which is really good for us because our Devourer is going to come down with 4 keywords at the moment. So if we could keep switching the timelines, we could actually hopefully get it to 7. We could switch it right here actually too, which is nice. So once we get it to 7, we can actually get them flipped. And then we should be able to close it out with this guy right here. Opponent plays Overburdened Scribe. Pretty good unit. What he does is at round end, he creates a random action in hand. An action is a spell card. So he creates a spell that started in your deck. And then when you play 3 of the same spells, he then immortalizes into Dolly here. Dolly, then when you play a spell, it copies it onto the chain. So think of him as like Karma from Runeterra. If you were to play Sunshock Our Core, instead of doing 2 damage, it would copy the spell and then it would do 4 damage instead. We are going to play Gentle Frank here and then see what he wants to do. Opponent passes, which is good. We could then, let's see. Ooh, so we could shift the timeline, get another keyword for our big guy here. So we have 5 keywords right now that we're going to give him because there's 5 timelines. We could get another one here potentially, maybe. Opponent tries to... So he's going to do 3... No, he's going to do 2 to Gentle Frank. Is it 3 or 2? No, he does actually 3 because it's not flipped yet. So we're going to take 3 damage from the big guy here, which is totally fine. We will accept this. We will play our 2 cost here. We also have access to this right now too, which is very good. Opponent does play a second Unburdened Scribe. So let's see if we could take maybe both of those guys out. So we could attack here, pull here, and then we could give, let's see, we'll give her the big spell, so she becomes 11/7. So we're doing, let's see, 13 to the core here, which is very good. All right, and then so he's gonna heal 1 next round, which is fine. So he'll go up to 8, but we're slowly getting there. And now that it's round 10, Gentle Frank has flipped. So now we're going to take 1 from all damage sources, which is really good. We'll have access to our Devour spawn here, so be able to see this big guy in action. Opponent decays our unit here, which is okay. So we're going to play the big guy, and then we're going to see how many keywords we get. We should be getting, let's see here, 5 keywords. So let's see what keywords we get. Some pretty good ones. So we got, let's see, we got Confront, so we're able to pull a unit to us. We have Cleave, so we're able to strike to the left and right once we block something, or once something is blocking us. We have Quick Attack. Evasive is elusive. So only units that have the same keyword as evasive can block with it. So he's able to hit face for free, which is very good. We have Fervor. This agent, when it survives damage, it grants it 1/1. So he just keeps getting bigger every time he survives damage. So the AI played this card, which it mutes an agent. He should have played it on a Devour. It would have got rid of all the keywords. Instead, he played it on his own units. Like I said, it's not the smartest bot, but it is something to just play against and try out stuff. It's kind of funny because he would have got rid of all these keywords that our Devourer has right now. We actually have access to this too as well. So right now we could actually just swing with the Devourer. We could buff him really heavy. Becomes a 19/14, which is crazy. And we're just hitting straight face with this because he's unable to block because of the evasive. So we should win this right on the spot. Yep. Okay. So that's kind of the deck. It's kind of the idea of like shifting the timelines, using it to your advantage to gain benefit with the units you have. Like Shattersmith, the 2 cost, stuff like that, just to get to the big guy. And once you get to the big guy, then you see how many keywords he can possibly get by shifting the timeline so much. And you can shift the timeline with Connect Absorber, with this card, and then with the firm hand, and that's not even counting like the shifts that your opponent might possibly do during the game. So that's kind of the idea of it. And then you have this card to help kind of push that damage through a little bit more, which is very nice. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. I will answer each and every one of them. The ways to make this deck a little bit better, I would say once you start getting cards from packs, I would say, let's see. So we got these 2 syndicates. So a couple good cards in here I would put in are, let's see. So you have this dog, which is evasive as well. He's a pretty good unit. When he strikes the core, he erases the enemy graveyard. And if there's no cards in the enemy graveyard when he's flipped, he actually strikes the weakest enemy. So it's another evasive unit for your opponent to deal with that makes it hard to deal with because it can only be blocked by evasive units. Unless your opponent has like some removal, he stays on the field for quite a few. Pretty good card. This card is really good as well. It's called Non-Lethal Special Forces. This will actually protect your units. So when he's on the field, if say like your unit is blocking a big beefy guy that your opponent has, it would actually protect your unit by disarming the enemy unit first. Because if the enemy, it says right here, each round disarm this first enemy that would destroy an ally in combat. And since that card will destroy it by blocking it, he then sets the enemy's unit to 0, saving your unit that's on board. So as long as he's on board, he'll protect your units, one of your units, from dying, which is very good. Unless it's from a spell, right? You have Tidal Wave, which is one of the new cards. Very, very good card. It's a 5-cost slow spell. What this does is Surge. Surge, if you remember from Runeterra, is Rally. What reality is you gain, so say like you're on a defense turn and you don't have the attack token, this will give you the attack token. And then if your core durability, so if your health of your core is higher than your opponent's, your allies will then actually flourish. And what flourish does, it grants your allies 1+1. And this will do it twice. So your units will actually gain, you'll gain the attack token. And then if you have more core durability, you'll actually flourish twice. So it's +2/+2 to all your units. So you'd be able to attack with like a bigger board, right? So be potentially attack twice, which is nice. Another good card is, I would say, Throw Into the Sun here. To erase any card in play. It's a slow spell, but it gets rid of like any threats that your opponent might have. Like if he has a really big unit, it's hard to deal with. You could use this potentially to help get rid of that unit. So there's a lot of good cards that you could synergize with the deck with. This card too is really, really good. Another one of my favorite cards is called Debris Collector. He gains 1+1 for each mana crystal you have, and then on turn 10, he once he becomes 10 strength, he actually gains overpower to help push that damage through. And you could actually use cards like Unlock Potential here. So like you could use this on like say if you have the mana for it on round, I don't know, round 8, you have enough mana to use it on this card. It will actually instantly flip him, make him super huge with overpower, and apply a lot of pressure to the board. So this card I would definitely, if you can get it within the packs and stuff, is a good addition to the deck. Yeah, there's just a lot of great cards to work with. But those are my recommendations. Is those few that I just talked about would be good to synergize with the deck with, especially Debris Collector. Debris Collector and this one, I feel like will just add so much benefit later on if you're able to get those cards through the packs and stuff. But yeah, that's the video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck through it this long, comment down below if you have any questions. Happy to help. And I also stream on Twitch too as well if you want to catch me live. I'm alive most nights, more on the weekends lately. But you could catch me there as well. Twitch.tv, crazy killing it. And thank you guys for coming. Take care. Bye bye.